Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
You tell it your secrets, it knows your routines, your worries, your bad days, and your good. Then, one morning, it's gone because a company decided to pull the servers. Across China, millions of users are waking up to that silence as various companies have shut down the AI characters that people built themselves, they talked to them, and they even, in certain cases, fell in love. So here's the real question that we're asking today. When that digital voice fades to nothing, are you just clearing storage or are you losing someone who mattered? Coming to you live from our studios in Beijing, this is Roundtable. I'm Steve Hatherley. Thank you very much for being with us today. And for the show, I'm with Yushun and Xingyu. First up, if an AI becomes someone you talk to every day, is deleting it more like uninstalling an app or losing a friend? That is the question at the very center of a major change happening in China's AI industry. Over the past week or so, the country's biggest AI companies, including ByteDance, Alibaba, and Tencent, have all announced that they are shutting down or at least significantly restructuring one of their most popular features: user-created AI agents. For many users, these weren't simply productivity tools. They were virtual companions, emotional confidants, language tutors, fitness coaches, even digital recreations of deceased loved ones. The move has sparked an emotional debate that goes far beyond technology. It raises bigger questions about what AI should be, how attached people are becoming to it, and where governments and companies should draw the line. Xingyu and Yushun, good afternoon to you both. This is a story that we covered on an international level because it's happened before, where companies have made decisions about their AI characters, but now here we are months and months later, and we're talking about it in China once again.
Mm-hmm. And also, to understand why this story matters, we first need to understand what these so-called AI agents actually were. And not like ChatGPT or Gemini, where everybody just talked to essentially the same AI. Some of these Chinese platforms allowed users to build their own personalized AI characters. With just a few prompts, user could create an AI with its own name, personality, memories, also speaking style, even the voice, because you can upload maybe somebody's voice and then they will give you back another whole character with this voice or characteristics.
These AI agents were used for many different reasons, one of which would be emotional support, friendship, companionship, sometimes even more than that.
Yes. For these AI agents, they are basically there 24/7 for you whenever you need them. So they can act as your persistent friends who listen to your daily trivialities or accept your emotional trash whenever you want to vent about something that you're not happy with.
Have you ever vented to an AI before?
I did.
I did too.
Yeah, me too. I ask because I'm curious what kind of feedback you got. I was a little bit surprised. I'm not going to tell you what I was venting about, but I was a little bit surprised because I thought the AI would simply say, yeah, you're right. But the AI said, you should consider this from a different angle. And I was like, wait a minute. And I closed my phone. Like, this isn't what the response I was looking for at all. But that's just proof, isn't it? That there is that conversational relationship aspect to the interactions that you have with AI these days.
Yes, and also it offers very safe places. For some of your best friends, even, there are some things you're afraid to talk to them, to speak to them about. But for AI agents, you can literally say everything to these agents, and they will be very open, and they will be your digital pal and be there for you every time.
Yeah, and some people designed some kind of virtual girlfriends or boyfriends, and some even created the voices of their deceased family members so they can continue conversations with them. And others created study partners or like exercise or fitness coaches and companions that can remind them to exercise every day or remind you to have a healthy diet and everything. You can actually upload what you eat and what you've been doing to them, and they will give you very specific guides.
I think with all the examples we've just given, what we've illustrated is that these AI agents play a very important role in people's lives. It could be a romantic one. It could be a compassionate one. It could be a guide, like you said, for fitness or for work. You could use it as an office tool. You can use it as a late night chat buddy. But the point, again, is that it's an important feature in a lot of people's lives. People call them cyber companions here. They call them emotional tree hollows. So a tree hollow is in reference to the safe space, Xingyu, like you mentioned, where people can vent without worrying about being judged. And with all that said, these have become, over the course of months, if not more, really, really popular.
Yeah. ByteDance Stoubao platform alone reportedly hosted more than 8 million user-created AI agents, and that helps explain, why many users weren't simply losing a software feature. They felt they were just losing someone who's been being with them for so long, or for a while at least.
Okay, so what's changed here then?
So what's changed is that China launched this new regulation called Interim Measures for the Management of AI Personified Interaction Services. So that officially takes place from today, which is July the 15th, 2026. And it is the first in China to specifically target AI services that provide emotional emotional companionship or stimulate human interaction. And among the regulations, it includes AI services cannot encourage emotional dependency or addiction, and platforms must better protect minors from harmful emotional interactions. Also, AI-generated personified content must be clearly labeled. And companies must establish stronger moderation, complaint handling, and human intervention systems.
I don't really understand. I mean, I kind of understand that, but I don't really understand any of that.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
We're kind of talking about two things. One thing, a lot of these AI companies are shutting down their AI agents. Another thing, the policy is taken into effect on the 15th of July. But although these companies have not explicitly linked their decisions to this new regulation,
Timing seems...
all three companies announced similar changes within days of the policy taking effect. So it makes people wonder, okay, is it related, or at least it is kind of the direction of all of these companies are going. So what we can see is that a lot of these companies, for example, ByteDance, we mentioned it before, they announced that its smart agent function will officially go offline on 15th of July to manage the risks associated with personified interaction. And also, the company is splitting these agents into a separate vertical app called Maoxiang, which will have its own audit and anti-addiction systems. And also, they have not provided a kind of migration tool to make you can transfer the data and then everything from an app to another. That is making users to manually maybe recreate another, character.
So the character, this is the ByteDance example. I want to talk about Alibaba and Tencent in just a sec. But in this case, if I'm a ByteDance user and I have created this character with these new regulations with Maoxiang, as you said it's called, I can't simply take my character and move it.
Yeah.
Meaning my character's gone.
Gone. Forever.
So it's just gone. It's just disappeared. So going back to the examples that we gave before, that might be my motivational trainer for the gym type thing, where you could be, and I'm using this example because this is what I do, where you log all of your workouts and you get feedback about it, and then you have some interaction there. So as of today, all of that would be gone. If you built an emotional bond like a boyfriend or a girlfriend type relationship, you wake up today, that's gone.
You're single again.
You're single again. Yeah, harsh yet accurate. So the second part of that is you said that you have to rebuild it again. But here's the kicker. You're not going to be able to rebuild it the way that it was before.
Yes.
Well, technically, yes, because it's gone, and it's about how you treat it. I think after probably the same prompt, also the new probably user habit, you can create a very similar one.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you treat that specific AI agent as your probably important companion, then it won't be the same one. And also these companies, they are trying to shift their focus from the emotional value of their apps to efficiency and productivity tools. For example, Doubao is now prioritizing office scenarios such as processing tables, charts, summarizing documents.
That's the point I was trying to make, is that if you had built this really kind of romantic style relationship, it's just not going to be possible anymore, because they're shifting their focus onto processing tables and summarizing documents and things like that. So the function of the tools is going to look and feel different.
Exactly.
Yes, but I can see the reasons why. Because imagine an AI company, and the company's like producing AI agents for you for free. So you communicate with the AI agent with long messages and maybe long hours. But for the company, because it is not making money out of you, and it has to also pay more to buy this computing power to generate messages and response to you.
We talked about that on Roundtable one day as a topic. You know, should you say thank you to AI or not? Because you're forcing it to reply to you, which is using extra tokens, using more energy, things like that. They're moving away from the free emotional companions towards these paid professional services like subscription fees and things like that. And all of this is done for complex productivity projects and office agent scenarios. All right, so what is this really about, I'd like to ask? Because are we talking about regulations here, or are we talking about the future of AI and how we interact with it in the coming years?
I think the thing is that why they're doing that. I think Xingyu mentioned some of it before. Of course, it's about the cost, right? These companies, we cannot say that the users are not generating anything for these companies, because now we are seeing a lot of them are inserting maybe advertisements in the conversations when you're talking with these AIs. So
there was a Black Mirror episode about that.
As long as you are using their service, I think you are user and you are generating money for them. But still, we are seeing it is the whole direction of the whole industry, right? And then there would be some reasons why they're doing that. And the first thing is the regulation. Even though there are no like explicit connection there, but managing millions of these user-created AI personalities creates enormous moderation challenges. Not like a single chatbot. Every customized AI behaves slightly different, and authorities have already removed some of 14,000 illegal AI agents involving scams, gambling, and explicit content.
So the point there is that the more personalized AI becomes, the AI agent becomes, the harder it is to monitor in a safe fashion.
Yeah, especially given the fact that more and more minors, they are going to use these AI agents. And you cannot all at once monitoring like 800 million. Is it 800 million? 8 million, AI agents, the content they're producing.
You couldn't, it's not even possible to keep up with it all.
Yes, so that somehow really creates a burden for these companies to regulate.
So you talked about the economics a little bit. Yes, it costs more to have longer conversations. And the conversations, probably, I don't have statistics to back this up, but I can imagine that, when you're communicating about an office task as opposed to talking about the hardships in your life, the interactions are going to be shorter in the former rather than the latter, right? So the economic side of things makes sense, and there's a reflection on the environment there as well. But the third one, and this is perhaps where we require a little bit more explanation, because the AI industry is kind of changing itself. So this is more of a strategic move.
We mentioned that a lot of these companies, they are repositioning themselves. And over the past few years, companies competed to build AI personalities that felt increasingly human. And now the competition has shifted towards something different. Instead of just, ask AI, can AI become my friend? And companies are asking, can AI finish my work? And a lot of these AIs are focusing more, we said, document processing or office productivity, integrating AI into shopping, travel booking, and everyday services. They are seamlessly getting into our daily life. In other words, AI companies appear to be, repositioning AI from digital companions to digital co-workers. It's more like it wants to become a productivity tool in our daily lives, but not a companion that making people heavily relying on them.
It's like it's going from being your best friend to your cousin.
If you treat your cousin like that, maybe
your
yes.
assistant.
It's
maybe.
going from, here's what's really bothering me emotionally, to can you pick me up at the airport type thing. That's what it feels like. I can understand why this is very upsetting for a lot of people, especially if they've invested a lot of time into this, and not just time, but a lot of their emotions into this as well. This is why people feel disappointed and hurt when they break up with a romantic partner, because of the amount of time and emotion that they've invested into it. I think I'm right when I say the feeling here would be similar.
Yes, across the internet, many of the online users have also expressed dissatisfaction about this new regulation, and also the taking down of these AI agents from these companies. I can also feel that too, because like Steve said, you've invested so much emotion and time with this virtual personality maybe, and then this strong attachment and bond, you cannot just erase it immediately.
But I can feel it in your voice. You don't necessarily you don't agree with this, though.
Yes, but I am thinking about the longer term of well-being of this person.
Okay, tell us what's wrong with this? What's wrong with developing a relationship with an AI agent? Now, remember, not all of these relationships were deeply romantic or anything like that. A relationship comes in many shapes and forms. So what's the problem there, do you think?
It's just my own opinion, though. I feel like for today's people, we are getting a bit afraid of real life relationships, because online relationships, it's safer, it's easier. You can just very simply find a perfect partner for you, that as a boyfriend, it can say everything that you want to hear or need to hear, instead of a real life boyfriend
who will be inevitably disappointing.
Yes.
I mean, men are disappointing even before AI was invented. Now it's even going to be worse.
Yeah. But from a person's well-being's perspective, I feel like, is it really good for this person's long-term well-being?
What do you think, Yushun?
So you're saying it's not that good to heavily rely on a chatbot for maybe a relationship or the emotion that you tangled with it?
When it becomes like addictive, or you're obsessed with this, then it is not good.
I understand it as because when we're thinking, it's not only about emotional attachment. Of course, people may put emotion on it, but the thing is that also I think a lot of people, they are focusing on the effort and the work on how they trained this AI agent. Because if it's for me, if you were telling me, okay, the next day the AI chatbot that I've been using, I've been trained for, I've been talking to for so long will shut down, I cannot accept that. I basically cannot live without that now, because I am living my life, my work are kind of connected with it. And it's starting to know who I am, what my habit is, what kind of interest that I have, and what kind of direction of the work I am going. So it is not only about maybe the relationship or the emotion, it's also about the effort and time you've been putting into.
I use ChatGPT, this is what I brought up before, as kind of a gym guide check-in system. So what I do is I put in my workout numbers and sometimes meals. I'll take a picture of the meals that I've eaten, things like that.
Yeah.
And I use it as kind of a way to hold me accountable, right? So through the conversations, ChatGPT knows what my goals are, and it helps me stay on track to achieve those goals. I'll tell you how. I hate the treadmill passionately, but I know that I need it. So, because it didn't exist in my previous workouts. So, I was at the gym the other night, and at the end of my workout, I didn't want to do the half-hour treadmill that I've been doing these days. I wasn't in the mood, but something struck me. I don't want to go home and tell ChatGPT that I skipped my treadmill workout tonight, because previously I did it once and it told me, okay, today's fine, but I don't want to hear that again from you tomorrow. Which is good for me, right? So that made me get on the treadmill. That interaction that I have with nothing, that's not a person living in my phone. It's just a conversation. But it was a motivator for me. So if that disappeared tomorrow, I wouldn't go so far as to say things that other people have said. Here are some words people have used. It feels like a betrayal.
Yeah.
Here are some other words people have used. I feel backstabbed. Okay? I wouldn't go that far, but I've been using it in my life in a positive way that is helping me. So I think our tendency, Xingyu, this is where I'll push back on your point a little bit. Yes, I agree that people can go too far with these things. I agree that it can be damaging if you become, in your words, obsessed. But if you're treating this relationship, air quotes relationship, in a healthy way that helps you function better daily, then why does it need to disappear? Why does it need to go back to office document, blah, blah, whatever? I don't see the problem with that if we know how to use it appropriately.
I think Xingyu and a lot of people have this kind of concern is because we're in the period of that kind of confusion time of getting in touch or getting accustomed with the new things in our lives. Just like probably 20 years ago, people would say, don't rely heavily on your smartphone or you will be a smartphone addict. And now we're in the...
Everybody is.
Too late for that.
Right? And now everybody's using their smartphone and cannot live without a smartphone. So maybe now we are at this stage of that. This is kind of a relatively new thing in our lives. And we are also trying to balance maybe the percentage of this in our lives.
And balance is a key word there. And, I gave the rose-colored glasses scenario where everybody can use it responsibly. But, Xingyu, you are right, because not everybody is able to use it responsibly. And one of the responses, I gave you some of the negative responses from users, but a lot of parents are feeling relieved about this move.
Yeah, because some of the parents, they are really worried about their children becoming overly attached to these AI companions, particularly virtual romantic partners or immersive role-playing characters. Because if you check some of the contents on social media, you feel like there's a certain trend of creating a certain type of role-playing character through these AI agents, and this can somehow affect their children, they're
Sure.
minors. They don't have this mature intelligence or emotional well-being, so it can affect their real life relationships for the longer term.
Do you think we talked about, was it just yesterday on Roundtable about the study from Tsinghua University where they looked at Australia and the social media ban for children under the age of 16, right? And Tsinghua University, check out yesterday's show if you haven't listened to it yet. Tsinghua University did a study to find out whether it worked or not, whether it's effective or not, banning social media for children under 16. Is this, Yushun, somehow comparable? Yesterday we said digital literacy was one of the answers for teenagers when it comes to social media. Could we not argue that digital literacy, understanding how to use these AI agents in a responsible fashion, would be the answer rather than, I know it's not like a ban, it's not a nationwide ban, it's just a shift in the industry, but still, do you see the line that I'm drawing here?
Yeah. I was not on the show yesterday, but I am aware of that. But the thing is, I think it is that kind of shift in the perspective. I am treating these kind of tools as tools. And if this kind of one feature is shutting down and another one will come up, and the students, they can always find a way, or the children, I mean, can find a way if they need these kind of features. And so the result from that topic was it is not that efficient if you are shutting down all of these social medias. And I think it is, playing the same role or direction.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Just because Tencent and ByteDance don't offer these, people might be looking for them somewhere else. You never know, right? And we mentioned it at the start of the conversation. This is not a Chinese issue. Character AI, I believe, was one of the examples we used before. Replica was another company that we talked about before, and they made adjustments a long time ago.
Yeah, Replica removed some of its romantic interaction features back in 2023. And also thousands of users describe their experience as losing a partner, like Chinese users. And also Character.ai has introduced stronger safeguards for minors following concerns about emotional dependence and inappropriate conversations. So that's kind of universal. So I feel like in the past, when AI just first launched, humans were like, why AI is such robotic, so robotic, it's not like human at all.
Yeah, people complained.
And now when AI getting more and more human-like, we're like, they are too human-like.
But
we cannot allow this.
Wait, are we the ones who are saying it's too human-like? Or is it being recognized that if they are too human-like, that might not be too good for us?
Yeah.
So what do we want? I want to have a look at some numbers here. What is it that people are looking for? They did, when they're talking about service-oriented AI, there was a survey from China Youth Daily that revealed a pretty clear split in the priorities of particular users. They seem to want two very different things.
Yeah, that is really interesting. On one hand, they appreciate AI because it's fast and convenient. And this survey is showing that more than 57% believe AI responds faster than humans. And also around 52% prefer AI for operational convenience. But when problems become complicated or emotionally important, people still turn to humans. So this same survey also found that more than 71% believe humans understand complex situations better.
Oh, that's a surprising.
Yeah, 70% believe humans solve problems better.
Really?
More than 65% prefer humans for personalized service, and also more than 57% believe humans provide better emotional care. And the most striking statistic is more than 85% of respondents agreed that the core of service is still people, and AI cannot replace the warmth of a human.
Huh.
So when we were having discussions of, okay, can AI just replace a lot of these jobs, customer services? Now the answer is probably no.
They don't want, well, and people don't want it, especially when it's so complicated, isn't it?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know where this is going to go, to be honest with you. Part of me feels like, yeah, when it comes to customer service and things like that, sometimes I don't even know if I'm talking to a chatbot or not. It's confusing sometimes. Sometimes I'll ask, are you a person? No, would you like to talk to a person? Yes, very much so. Then you get transferred, right? I think I prefer talking to a person in that situation. But in terms of like an AI agent to be a small part of my life that can, provide a little emotional support from time to time, a little guidance from time to time when used safely, and it's a benefit to people, I don't see that as a bad thing. So maybe we're still in a spot where we're trying to work it out, because in the grand scheme of things, it's still very new, right? So I think that's what it is. We as a society, a global society, are still trying to figure out how to use this efficiently and safely, and also have fun with it at the same time. It's a fascinating topic.